Hey everyone, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. We're just going to wait a couple minutes here as everyone gets on the line. So sit back, relax, and we'll get started in just a minute.
Good morning. Thanks so much.
Hey folks, for those of you just hopping on, thanks so much for joining. We're going to get started in just a minute. Hey partners, thanks so much for joining us today. Just giving it about one more minute and then we will officially start office hours. Thanks for your patience. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us for Office Hours. My name is Amy, and I am your host today. I am thrilled to talk to you guys about what's coming up for our partners in 2019. This is going to be just an incredible year for Google Cloud partners, and I'm just totally stoked that we get to share that with you guys. Quick housekeeping note before we get started. If you look to the right of your screen, there is a live chat window. If you have questions throughout today's presentation, go ahead and type them there, and we will answer them during our Q&A period. Also, I'm excited to invite you to the very first ever Behind the Cloud office hour session. You guys didn't see in this month's invite, we now offer two office hour sessions every month. We have one that's a bit more focused on technical topics, which we call Bits and Bytes. And then we have our more programmatic business development focus session, Behind the Cloud, which is what you are attending today. We are super lucky to have today's presenter. His name is Mark Daigle. Mark actually owns our technology partner program team. And I have to tell you guys, he's one of my most favorite humans to work with at Google. So with that, I would love to hand it over to Mark. And Mark, thanks again for joining.
Thank you, Amy, and good morning. That's a very nice welcome. Welcome, everybody, and appreciate you all taking the time to spend the morning with me. Again, my name is Mark Daigle, and I run technology programs here at Google Cloud. And today I'd like to run you through some really exciting things that are coming up this year that my team is working on, Amy included. There's some great things coming along on the program front with the launch of the Advantage program, which is going to come out later this year. And I want to run you through the ins and outs of that program because it is really important that you understand how the program is evolving, why it's evolving, and really how you orient yourself to prepare for what is coming down the road. I also want to give you a sneak preview of what's coming at next. There's some great announcements that my team is working on along with the broader group here on the partner team. I want to make sure that you have visibility into those things that are coming up, and make sure that you're also planning to join us in San Francisco in April for Next and for Partner Summit. So with that, let me hop right in here. So what is Partner Advantage? I've been at Google now for a little over 7 years, actually just this week, 7 years. And we've changed a lot. When I joined the company, there was a lot of great work going on, but it was really early days in terms of our enterprise presence and the programs we had in place to support our partner ecosystem. And as we've evolved over time, a lot of the genesis of the program has really grown up around product. And it's not uncommon here at Google that we kind of orient ourselves, being an engineering-driven company, that we would align the programs that we provided our partners and incented our partners to work and come to us around product areas. But as that grew and over time, over the years, it became really obvious that we had kind of a disparate set of different programs, different contracts, different engagement models, different ways that we provided information to our ecosystem. And a couple of years ago, we sat down and really started to think through what would the future program look like if we were to have a blank canvas and we wanted to paint a picture of what an ideal program would be, given where we knew the business was headed, and really how the feedback that we were receiving from partners, how could we really design it to be a very customer-centric and partner-centric program that provided the right structures, the right incentives, the right business models, the right entitlements to support you all to build and align and grow your partnership with Google. How could we do that? So what you're seeing here is really kind of the tenets of the program, and I'll go into detail here in a minute of what it's going to look like. One, we wanted to have the program be simple, right? So simplicity was a design principle that we've had from the get-go. I think for all of you, both members and partners that are on this call, will understand and appreciate that sometimes you can get a bit lost within our partner portal and with some of the things we do. There is sometimes not a natural way to find the information you need when you need it. So we want to make sure that we provided everything that you need in a way that was easy for you to find and to access. Also, we wanted to be very customer-centric, right? So understanding where we are in the market, how we need to capitalize on where Google is different, and provide that differentiation in a consumable format for all of you as partners, right? So things like Kubernetes, things like AI/ML, things like capitalizing on our data and analytics suite, where we really lead the market. We wanted to provide paths for you as partners to both deliver services around those suite of products that we have, as well as how do you develop the next class of solutions out there that really impact your customers at the end of the day, our customers, I should say. And we also want to reward good behavior, right? So we wanted to understand what are the right levels or tiers within the program, and how do you attain those tiers? And when you do attain those tiers, what are the benefits that we want to provide partners to reward them for the right behavior, right? So we want to make sure and be able to track it, by the way. So we need to keep ourselves accountable. So looking at what are the systems and tools on the Google side of the house that we use to really make sure that we're delivering on our promise to provide cutting edge entitlements to our partners, and making sure that the economics work for all of you, because we recognize there are options out there, and really being aware of the fact that we're all in a for-profit business here, and we need to make sure the economics work for everyone, so that we all grow together, right? And so making sure that we're thoughtful about what are the next tranche of benefits that we want to provide you that really separate us and the experience of partnering with Google from the rest of the world. So those are our principles. So now I'll dive into a little bit more into what that has all translated to. So these are the 3 pillars or engagement models, as we call them, in the program. And what we've done is really simplified and blown away the 7 to 9 tracks, depending how you count them, which were, again, raised and born out of products, and simplify that down to 3 engagement models that are really about how you as partners align to doing business with Google. And what that means is there's a community of kind of traditional channel partners out there, which is a lot of our ecosystem was kind of born and raised on the channel, in a channel model, right? So these are partners that are either selling or delivering or both services around our stack. And the build pillar is really where Amy and I sit, and that's on the technology partner team. And really what this is for partners that are building their own solutions. They're either building on our platform, meaning Google Cloud Platform, or integrating to many of the different products and services that we have under the umbrella of Google Cloud, right? So we're focusing today on the build pillar. And one thing I also want to mention is historically, if you were to declare that you were like today, even a technology partner, you were in that track. And as I said, there was 7 to 8 other tracks that you could potentially that are out there, but you were really kind of pigeonholed into being a technology partner, and there was really no clean way to kind of float between the other models. So one of the things we wanted to make sure of is in the new program, I kind of call it like a major and minor. So you can declare your major. So if you're an ISV or an OEM that is building things and integrating to our stack, your major would likely be in the build pillar. However, what if you want to provide and build up a delivery arm and provide professional services around your solutions to implement your solutions with customers? You could also then declare a minor, and that minor might be in the service pillar, right? And even extend it even further. What if you want to resell? You can also do that now as well. So we will provide a simple path for you to really play across all the models as it makes sense for your business. So we're no longer putting up an artificial barrier and typecasting you as a technology partner, although that may be the major that you declare. You'll have the ability to kind of float between the models and take advantage of the different benefits that go along with it. So I want to make sure I was clear on that. And the last thing on this slide I want to speak to is this concept of initiatives. And I'll go into this a little bit more in a minute, but the concept of initiatives is actually really unique, and it's kind of developed over the last year. And the genesis was on my team. So the thought was we have the base program, which is going to be lined out in these 3 models that you see here. And then there's the concept of having something above and beyond those models, right? So what are the other things that are unique, sometimes to product, sometimes to a specific engagement model? And an example of this would be, the best example that I can think of is the SaaS initiative. So the SaaS initiative was born out of my team, and it really was designed to align to partners that are delivering software as a service. And what are the things that are unique to that business model that we can design that provide the right incentives, the right economics, and the right benefits to really provide, to really ask partners to come to us and really partner with us on what we think is the best class infrastructure in the world. So we want to make sure that the program or the initiative was designed around that concept. And there'll be more of those that are built out over time. There's also one around Cloud Interconnect, and there's others that are going to be announced at Next that will continue to see kind of this proliferation of initiatives as the business dictates. So one other thing I think is very notable with the program is for members on this call, traditionally members have been treated outside the core program. So members, to become a member, historically, you would express interest, you would sign an NDA, and you were given access to a limited partner portal. And the partner portal had kind of curated content, access to a limited amount of training that we wanted to provide to really determine whether or not, as members, if you wanted to get serious about a partnership with us and actually build an integration with us and align with us. The good news for you members on this call is that we're now elevating members to become a full-fledged status and tier in the new program. So in Advantage, there will be 3 tiers. There will be the member level, which will now give you access to a broader set of documentation, things behind our partner firewall, I'll call it, in the portal. So you have greater access to resources, greater access to technical documentation, greater access to training, just a lot of things that we weren't able to do in the past because members were kind of it was a bit of a stepping stone into the broader program, right? Partner and Premier will still remain the same, and in a second here I'll talk about what it takes to achieve those upper tiers in the program. So authorizations is something I also want to mention before we get into the tiers, and because I think this is something you will hear about. And the reason if you go to Google Events, you'll hear about partner authorization. So I wanted this to be just a quick call out. Authorizations is really about the reselling model, the traditional channel partners. And what it means is if you're operating in multiple regions, you need to actually regionally provide credentials in region in order to be able to operate in that region. Typically, again, this is really only applying to sales and service partners. For build partners, we treat you as a global partner, right? So an ISV that builds a solution here can really deploy and operate anywhere in the world. And we have aligned the program to really to address that that difference between an ISV and kind of a traditional channel model. So I just want to make sure I call that out, because I don't want you to think that you need to be authorized to operate in a region if you do hear any of that in any of the Google communications that you may receive or at an event. Okay, so the benefits framework. So I talked a little bit about the different tiers already. And the way that we look at this is that this builds over time, right? So the concept I think is pretty straightforward. What we've done is at the member level now, you're going to get access to technical and business benefits at the point you join the program, which is much better than what you have today, which again, I think is fairly limited in what we're able to do. Now the caveat here is there will be an additional contract that will need to be agreed to at the time we transition to the new program. There will be a period of time where we grandfather folks in to give them access, but long term, there will be a partner agreement that all members need to sign. And really, the primary reason we do that is not to make it more complicated, but really to ensure that we're able to provide you greater access to all the resources that we have in the portal. And we can't do that with simply an NDA in place. So it will be a click wrap agreement. It's really an alliance agreement. So it's a framing agreement for the partnership. There's nothing binding there around reselling terms or anything like that, but it does provide us with greater ability to provide you better service and better benefits. Partners will then, so once you have a fully integrated and validated solution, I'm speaking specifically about the build pillar here, you would then become a full-fledged partner. And at that level, you're given a much more robust set of benefits, right? You then start to dig into the sales and marketing benefits that we have. A lot of these are self-service. Some of them are not. And we're working on enhancing the things that we do today for partners. And a much larger increase in terms of the bump of test and development credits and access to our on-demand training as well. So instead of just getting what you get at the member level, which I think is just a voucher for like one course in Coursera, you get a much higher number of Coursera credits, as well as Quick Labs access as well to do technical skills development. And then Premier, we unlock everything, right? There's a bunch of different things we do. A lot of it is just additional tranches of benefits of the same type of benefits, but we also start to get into whether or not we can actually start to work together at the go-to-market level, right? So what kind of plays can we develop jointly? And that'll happen over time, and there are additional requirements to kind of cross that bridge, but it does become more attainable as you hit the Premier level. And then initiatives really are, initiatives, if you apply, so when you become a partner of Premier, you can apply for initiatives, and the initiatives will unlock even more benefits, as are specializations, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. So if you are in the SaaS initiative, as I mentioned earlier, you'll get access to things like MDF, potentially looking at customer reliability engineering, and I'll talk about that in a minute. There are additional things we do within the initiatives, which are run by the initiative teams that are administering the initiative, that have lined up special benefits depending on that particular area that the initiative is focused on. So with that, I also want to talk about specializations. If you have attended any of our events, particularly last year, if you were at Next and Partner Summit, there was a big buzz around partner specializations. The good news is I think this makes sense in the market, right? The idea here is that we want to provide a distinction that not only Google and the partner understand, but also that the industry understands. So specializations are our effort to really provide that distinction and a set of really clearly articulated and objective criteria that every partner can attain if they so desire and set their goals to do so. So specializations historically have been focused on the channel partners. So really the 9 that you see here were announced and launched last year. And at the time, these were really focused on providing partners with a good level of comfort that when they decided to go Google, regardless of the technology, if they were going with a specialized partner, what that meant was that they had a proven track record of customer success, as well as credentials from a technical perspective to actually give the customer a level of comfort that they knew what they were doing to have a successful deployment. So what we're now doing is building out a set of technology partner specializations. And the ones here that are in bold red are coming in 2019. So data analytics, machine learning, security, and enterprise collaboration are the first few that we are tackling. And what that means is we're building out some specific requirements for tech partners to achieve specializations. And when you do, some of the benefits will be things like a distinguished listing on our partner portal So if a customer goes and wants to search on an expert in a given product area, like data analytics, for example, you will actually be pushed to the front of the search results. And there will also be special badging that's associated with the specialization as well. We're still working through some of the additional benefits that come with that. Some of them will be more marketing related, so that you can take advantage and kind of distinguish yourself from a branding perspective. But there also may be additional opportunities to work closely with our go-to-market team, as well as events and opportunities that come up over time where specialized partners will really be the first partners we go to because they've demonstrated the greatest amount of dedication and, more importantly, the customer success, which is a real key component of this concept. This is something that we're going to lead with for the foreseeable future. So you'll start to hear customers potentially talk about specializations. And if you're interested, we can certainly field questions at the end of this call, but this is something that is eventually we'll be building out all 9 of these and probably several others over time. But these will be coming in the second half of this year. Okay, so how to succeed in Partner Advantage. This really kind of lays out the journey for partners, and hopefully this makes sense for all of you. We've often called it the partner journey. We have a different version of this that actually says that on the slide, but this is in my mind kind of the similar thing. So really, where do you start, and what is required of you to move up within the program? So at the member level, when you join the program or when you start to access the new program, you'll be asked to provide a light business profile. When I say light, I'm talking probably a half-page worth of questions that you answer to tell us a little bit about yourself, how you're orienting yourself to Google Cloud, and what you do, right? And then you go about and we give you access to all the things that I mentioned earlier, and you start to actually build or develop your solutions. And then at that point, when you get serious and the things have, you've gotten to the point where you have a product integration that you'd like to be reviewed by our team, you would then apply to become a partner, right? And what that means is really you're submitting your product integration for our team to review and looking at an annual business plan. So an annual business plan is a formatted, a new plan that we've formatted for partners. I think it is definitely much better than we've done in the past. It's a standard one that we've built out specifically for technology partners that really goes into detail about who you are, what you do, what your solution does, where it's focused, and a few other things. It is designed to be fairly lightweight, so it doesn't take a lot of time for you to work through it, but it is definitely a step up from what we require members to provide us. But the integration really is the first step, right? You have the integration and a public statement of support, which is similar to what we had today. And really what at that point, you'll become a partner. At that point, though, I think it makes sense for you to start looking at what you want to do in terms of tracking your customer success. And what that means is that in order to jump to the next level of Premier, that's the biggest actual, I think, hurdle for partners to make is documenting that customer success. So there's a significant jump between Partner and Premier. And the biggest thing for build partners is either you need to have a second product integration or you need to have, or you have to have customer success stories as well. So when I say or, what I mean is, if you're only a single product company and you only want to have one integration with us, we simply double the customer success stories. So assuming you have multiple products, the requirements are 2 product integrations and 3 customer success stories. We also implement a revenue tracking component of that as well, of $1 million in annual run rate business with Google. And we can talk about that in detail in Q&A or offline if you'd like to understand how we track that revenue. But that's really the jump to Premier. And then again, it opens up an additional tranche of benefits and opportunities for you to engage us more deeply. All right, so now I want to shift gears and talk a little bit less about Partner Advantage. If you're wondering when Partner Advantage is coming, it'll be likely the second half of this year. There is a lot of work going on right now and a lot of people working on putting the final touches on the program. It is no small undertaking to really revamp our entire program. And I'm sure you can appreciate the back-end systems and tools and all of the things that we want to have really in place. So when the program does come out, it really is different. And it is, at the end of the day, all of us that have spent a lot of time on working on this program and understanding that the face of the program is the portal, want to make sure that you as partners enjoy the experience and feel like it is a simple, logical way to engage us, and that it's meaningful for your business, right? That we're giving you the right tools and assets and access and support that you need to grow your business with Google. So again, stay tuned for that. I wanted to, hopefully that answers a lot of the questions that you have about Advantage and the timing of when it's going to be. Again, it's going to be a second half launch of the Advantage program. And I also want to talk now and shift gears a little bit to talk about Next and Partner Summit. So for those of you that went to Partner Summit last year, it was an event that happened the day prior to Next opening up. And it really was a dedicated day to host partners to really understand, to help you understand where Google Cloud is headed, provide deep level knowledge on where the products were headed, where we're headed as a partner business, things that were changing. It was really our opportunity to bring the entire ecosystem together in one place and share with you all of the good things and momentum and areas where we're investing so that you could align yourselves to Google more easily. This year, we've changed things up a little bit based on a lot of feedback we heard from all of you. That last year, I think the challenge was we were not able to share a lot of the big product announcements and partnership announcements at Partner Summit because it happened in advance of Next itself. So the idea that the concept this year is that Partner Summit will run in parallel to Next. And the primary reason we're doing that is so that partners can participate in a lot of those announcements and we can share those updates and meaningful things that are going on at the broader event in real time. We have secured, if you're familiar with San Francisco, the Intercontinental Hotel, which is a brand new, beautiful space that's adjacent to Moscone West, will house the entire Partner Summit that'll run again Tuesday through Friday of that week. And there'll be a lot of great stuff going on. We'll have a dedicated tech partner space so you can meet the team, meet with Googlers that are there, meet your partner management team if you are engaged with our partner management team, meet the programs team, meet me, meet my team, all of the folks that really are working hard to support you all. We definitely take your commitment to Google very seriously. And, I've been doing this for over 25 years and there's no place I'd rather be. I think we do it right here. And we're not always perfect, but I can't say it's because it's not a lack of effort. So I'd love for you all to spend time with us at Next. I think it's going to be a fantastic event. It's our marquee event of the year. There's going to be all kinds of great announcements. And, our new president, Thomas Kurian, is going to be there addressing everyone. And really, I think it's going to be a fantastic event. So if you're not registered, registration is open. And I know Amy is going to be sending out information post this webinar where you can find yourself to register and to get there. Also, sponsorships are available. So if you are interested in sponsoring, I know the sponsorship prospecti are out. So if you do want to have a booth there, if you so desire, I know that's going on right now as well. So definitely check it out. And that is April 9th through 11th. Okay, one other thing that's evolved this year, which I'm super psyched about, is partner awards. So last year we had some amazing awards, and this year I think we've definitely upped the game. So we are having multiple awards this year, including the Technology Partner of the Year Award. We actually have 12 Technology Partner of the Year awards by segment. So all of the different domain areas that we have. Also, each are going to have kind of a best-in-class partner as well. We'll have Breakthrough Partner of the Year, Diversity and Inclusion Partner of the Year, and Social Impact Partner of the Year, which is, I think, what I'm really proud to say. When I work at Google, what this place means and what it represents in the market. And so we want to make sure that partners that really align to those values are called out and rewarded for how they're the impact they're making in the world today. Some deadlines to call out. Submissions are due by February 8th. You must be registered for Partner Summit in order to be eligible. So you do need to be there. And if you have any questions, we have an email address there, email alias, that you can reach out to the team that's running the awards if you have any questions. So I would strongly encourage you to submit, because I think this is a fantastic opportunity for you to highlight yourself in a really marquee event for us. So with that, but wait, there's more. There is more. Now I want to get into some really great stuff that some of you may or may not be aware of and aren't taking advantage of. And also I want to finish with some sneak peeks of things that we have in the works that are going to be coming out. So first I'll start with what's available today and things that you may or may not be taking advantage of. So we have some fantastic resources And really, some of this is really top-notch, best-in-class training that partners can take advantage of. This is really the technical track, and I think for the audience here, there are sales trainings as well available via the partner portal. But I wanted to call out some of the on-demand and self-paced labs that we have available both through our partners Coursera and QuickLabs. We also provide a partner-only schedule for classroom trainings, for instructor-led trainings, and those are typically offered free of charge. They are limited seats because they are instructor-led, but we do have a schedule where you can sign up for those and actually attend training in person if you have the time and want to invest the time in coming, traveling to a spot to actually sit in a classroom and go through that. For those that can't, or if you want to just can't wait and you want to get at it, Coursera and QuickLabs are fantastic resources to go through a lot of the on-demand training, which, if you so desire, can lead up to some of the specific certifications that we have around data engineering and cloud architects. And there'll be more of those that come out at Next as well, that we're going to have additional technical certifications that are coming out at Next. So this is only going to get more robust over time, and it actually is something that separates us from the pack here because we provide it in fairly substantial, I won't call it unlimited, but I do, though, there are substantial investments here in terms of the amount and volume of training that it's available for you. So I want to make sure you're aware of that. Quick start guides. So I really want to call this out because my team in particular drove this, and I'm really proud of what this is. So one of the areas of feedback we receive from partners is, sometimes you just don't know where to start, right? Like, where do I start? I'm a new partner. I've gone through some training. Now I want to actually start to build an integration to one of the areas that I'm interested in within Google Cloud or GCP. How do I get that done, right? So we've invested in some really great technical writers to work with our partner engineering teams and that actually do these integrations every day. And the product of that, or the result of that, are these quick start guides. So these are the first few that we've done, and these are all fresh guides. It's fresh off the presses in the last few months. Some of these are based on demand. We prioritize where we're hearing the most requests for. So we have G Suite, IoT, data analytics, and a documentation checklist as well. So I would encourage you, all of these are posted on the partner portal. I would encourage you to take a look at them. There's a lot of great information in here on how to build your integration, how to document the integration, how to actually get it done and get your solution up and running so that you can move up and start to actually provide a service to your customers. So really want to call this out if you aren't aware of it, to really to launch or jumpstart your partnership with us. The SaaS initiative. So this is something near and dear to my heart. I mentioned it earlier today, and I wanted to make sure I called this out to folks. For those of you that are delivering your software as a service, this is an initiative that you should definitely kick the tires on. What it was really designed to be is to provide a framework for partners that are delivering their software in a SaaS model, an opportunity to really take advantage of unique incentives. And those incentives were designed to really have partners feel like they're both rewarded financially as well as from a development kind of alignment to Google engineering perspective, right? So today there are four kind of pieces or pillars to the initiative. One is around kind of addressing the business aspect of things, and that's called SaaS sales alignment. And the reason we did this is we wanted to provide an incentive not only for partners, but also more importantly for our field sales team to feel like there was an incentive to work with partners that were delivering software that was running on Google Cloud or integrating to Google Cloud, that they would provide quota credit and relief for those deals that were closed. So we call it a co-sell model, but essentially what it means is we're giving a 15% upfront quota relief for a deal that's registered and closed with the partner, right? And it's basically calculated at 15% of the first year total contract value. There's a registration process that we have, but it really allows SaaS vendors to have an incentive for our field to work with them, right? And it works both ways, right? So there are times when our sales team will know about a solution that's out there, and we will actually match make with a vendor or an ISV that we know provides or fills that product gap. And then vice versa, right? The ISV or you as a partner will come to us and say, hey, I have this opportunity. I'd like to register it. You register it, and then we make the match with our field sales team Depending on the account, it might be an inside sales team. And then that deal is then tracked through to closure. And once it closes, the rep is then paid that 50% kicker against the first year contract value. So a really, really nice way to incent our field to work with you. The next one is around SaaS customer reliability engineering. So some of you may be familiar with the term SRE. It's a phrase that books have been written about. It's really about Google's best practice of how we want to keep our website running. A lot of times when I talk about Google, and I used to refer to this as Google's like the dial tone of the internet, right? Like if you want to check to see if your Wi-Fi is down, you go to Google, right? And if that site's up, you're pretty much sure it's probably user error and something that's local to you as opposed to your Wi-Fi connection, right? And so what we've done is we have this huge, immense team and wealth of knowledge around how do you build the most reliable site in the world. And what we've done is we've packaged that knowledge up and provided it now in a consumable format where we can actually teach a partner to implement those best practices to make sure their service is running the way Google is engineered and architected. So this is a really exclusive benefit. It's part of the SaaS initiative. It is done on a, we don't have infinite scale here, but it is something that we do provide to partners. It's vetted pretty heavily in terms of who we can offer it to. But if you're in the initiative, you're certainly eligible for it. And over time, we are documenting a lot of this. So a lot of the kind of blueprints and reference architectures around CRE will be provided at scale. And over time, we'll also build up the capacity to do these things in an immersive fashion. So a huge differentiator for us and something that really gives you access to our top-notch engineering. Earned MDF. This is something that is also rewards-based. So it's basically aligned with your growth. So we take a baseline of what your SaaS revenue looks like today, and then we look at the percentage of growth, and we do a carve-out of marketing funds that you can apply to events that we want to do together. So there's a go-to-market aspect of it in terms of planning the different types of things that you want to do with us. And it's also rewarding you on growing your business, right? And giving you the opportunity to carve out or use funds that we've carved out for you to apply then for marketing activities to build your business. And it is performance-based, which I really like. And lastly, there's a SaaS community. So this is the whole concept of really building a forum for all of us to talk, right? To understand how do you build the best in class SaaS solutions? How do you align with Google? How do you build a go-to-market with us? What are your peers seeing out there, right? So providing a forum to really connect with other partners, to potentially build reference architectures that may include a multiple vendor strategy, which is a lot of what we're doing today. And I think you're going to see more of that coming out of Google Cloud. We're not the answer to any and all things. We recognize that there's a whole robust ecosystem out there that fills all kinds of product gaps, all kinds of industry use cases that we're just not simply focused on. So making sure we provide a forum, both online, so virtual and physical, opportunities for you to meet and collaborate and talk and build relationships of your own is something that's really key. To be quite honest, I don't think we've done a tremendous amount of this we didn't do a tremendous amount of this in 2018, but I do know we are going to make a concerted effort to do a lot more of this in 2019. So stay tuned for more news on that. So this really talks to this timeline here. This is the continuum of partnership, right? So if you look at from day one, how you really orient yourself to Google, this really talks about the different stages. And I like this slide because I think it's a really good one to kind of, in your mind, if you want to tee up, like, what is the progression you need to be going through as a partner? This really speaks to that, right? So from day one, you become a member, you join the program, and you get access to all these different things. The big things that you get there as an opportunity to start to test and develop. So sandbox credits to really start to explore the technology and start to test it. NRE is what we call non-recurring engineering funds. And this is something that's separate that we provide essentially an infusion of cash to in exchange for a commitment to deliver a solution. So the way it works is there's a team under the technology partner team that you can be connected with. You basically pitch to them, like, this is the thing you want to build. and they would determine if that's something they want to invest in. And if they do, there's essentially an exchange of funding. And that funding, at the end of the day, you are asked to deliver the solution, whatever you guys negotiate. So it is very much a custom kind of program. It's been very successful. So we're looking at how we expand and scale that. But it is something available that early on in early days that helps a lot of partners that we see high potential in to overcome some of the engineering costs that are required to build out a solution. Education and development, I think I've talked about that in terms of the training, technical support that you're given as a partner. Those things are given up front. And then you start to worry, to look at what can I actually then build into or integrate into my solution that's actually unique for Google, right? And I talked about CRE already. Another thing that we're working on is how do you infuse our AI and ML capabilities into your solution as well, to really not only make your solution run better and faster, but actually be more intelligent. And there's a whole program that's being built out around AI for SaaS that will be coming later this year around what we can do there. I talked some of the incentives with earned credits, MDF, and lead gen. I actually didn't get into lead gen very much. It is something that we're looking at really closely, like how can we provide opportunities for partners, right? And how do we actually make that more systematic? Stay tuned on that front. To be quite honest, I don't think we have it completely dialed in yet, but that will happen towards the tail end of 2019, when the systems all come online and Advantage is up and fully running. Advisory boards. We talked about communities, right? Which is more the online kind of virtual community that we'll have, but also like advisory boards and tech partner forums, things that we're doing where we're really starting to build a community out there, provide you with venues to really meet with our team, to share feedback, to learn about topics and future product roadmaps and things that are really important to you as our tech partner community that you need to really plan out where you want to head, right? And are we going to be the partner that you select that has the right technology to make you successful with your customers? The marketplace is also a really key one. And this is, for those of you that are familiar with Orbiterra, it was a company that we acquired a few years ago, and really providing a marketplace for cloud solutions, right? And we have a couple today. We have the G Suite Marketplace, and we have the Google Cloud Marketplace as well. And providing that, driving traffic to those marketplace sites so that you can benefit from postings. And there are things like integrated billing and other things that you can do that offer even more incentives for our partners and for our field to work with you. Just want to call it out as an overall kind of journey and how you should orient yourself or think of things along your journey with us. So those things I just talked about are what's available today. Now I want to talk about a couple things that are really sneak peeks. So what do we have in the works? So these things are not yet fully baked, but coming, right? So G Suite licenses. Actually, this is probably the farthest along. I'll take that back. This is the farthest along with something that actually is fully vetted, fully approved, and that I'm really excited to share with you all. What this is really designed to do is provide you as partners access to our technology at little to no cost. So what we've done here is, if you look at the top line here, the existing credits that you get today for GCP are kind of lined up there, and you'll see, we give enough to prime the pump, right? To start to figure out whether or not we're going to be the cloud for you. But we also wanted to recognize that we have this amazing collaboration productivity suite. And as a convert, I mentioned at the beginning of this call that I've been here for 7 years, and I must say it took me probably 6 months to become a believer in G Suite. It is by far the most easy to use productivity tool I've ever had in my career, and I was a lifetime PC Windows guy. And the amount of engagement that I get with my team, the ability to connect with anyone in the world at any given time in a really easy way, to collaborate in a doc. So if any of you are using G Suite today, and just the power of not worrying about version control and sending a deck around to the different individuals that need to help build that presentation, and then waiting and trying to handle version control and then waiting some more. Like, those days are just completely blown away. So the time that you can move and the amount of nimbleness that this instills in your organization is not to be underestimated. And again, you're talking to a convert here, but I do believe that it is a phenomenal opportunity for us to really help our partners to have that same experience, which just accelerates everything else in their business. So that was the core of what we were trying to do here. So essentially, at each level, we now are offering a coupon for users, so a tranche of credits to use G Suite. It is a first year, 12-month, basically license or subscription that we're giving, right? So 5 users for members, 25 users for partners, and 100 users for premiers, right? And at Premier, by the way, we do the business SKU, so you get a little bit more out of that. And if you're an existing customer, we're also giving a kicker. So we'll provide an upgrade to either business or enterprise at a discount. Right. So I think hopefully this is something that you guys all think is useful. And if you're using it, thank you for your business. If you're not, I would totally encourage you to kick the tires on this. There's no obligation. And I really think, a year is a good enough period of time to really understand and see the value of using this suite. So I want to mention that is available. That will be launched officially at Next, but it is fully vetted. That is coming at Next and will be announced at Next. Another thing that's coming, which I'm also super psyched about, is the partner program concierge service. So one of the things that we receive a lot of feedback on from partners is just getting access to Googlers, having a timely response for my question on things that should be simple, to be quite honest, accessing the partner portal, understanding what where things like those quick start guides exist, or how do I go ask for development credits, or how do I go register for a training on Coursera, right? Like there's all these things that really should be table stakes answers that should be really easy for you as a partner to get an answer to. Well, we aren't doing a great job at that. And so we decided to double down and invest in building out a service for you to provide you ease of access to those things, to provide you someone to actually talk to that can walk through your questions in a timely manner. And that's going to be this partner program concierge service for tech partners. And really what it is right now, today, we launched email support about 2 months ago. Phone support is coming online within the next month or two. And chat support will happen in the first half of this year. There's going to be global coverage. Right now, the response time the SLA that we're offering is 8 hours for email and 60 seconds when phone and chat. The amount of wait time that you'll receive is about 60 seconds. So far better than what you're getting today. And sometimes that 8-hour email response is far better, but that's the comfort level that we have in actually documenting our SLA on that. Operating hours right now are 24/5, and this applies to all partners, including prospects, which I think is amazing. So hopefully you guys all benefit from this and you think this is a good idea. This was a really loud feedback that we heard. So we're really trying to be responsive to what all of you are asking for. So with that, I also want to talk and end with our call to action. One, hopefully you got enough of a flavor around what Partner Advantage is to understand what the current program requirements are, what we're really evolving to, so that you can orient yourself to the new requirements that everyone's going to be held to in the new year, and kind of when to expect that. Again, it's kind of a second half thing. We'll roll the program out this time next year. Everyone will really be held accountable to all of those requirements officially, just to be really clear about that. But it's good to start thinking about it. It's good to understand where it's headed. It's good to know kind of the tiering and all about specializations and all those things that I covered. Also, start talking to your customers about those folks that are really willing to go on record, right? I think that is, to be honest, like you can pull away the revenue, you can pull away everything. Customer success stories are really where it's at, right? It's really about who are the folks that are willing to stand up and say, yeah, I had an amazing experience working with that partner, or the solution that this partner has built out has changed my business, right? And as a result, I've seen this impact on both my customers and my business, right? And get ready. Last, a single call out for getting ready for Google Cloud Next, right? And Partner Summit. If you have the time and you can make the investment, I don't think you'll be sorry. I think it's an amazing event. typically, you know, Google never ceases to amaze me at the things that we do, that just the uniqueness of some of these events. It's unlike a lot of the trade shows I've gone to over the years. I just think that Next does it right, and it's only growing, and the investment we're seeing is tremendous. You know, Sundar has gone on record as saying the cloud business at Google will surpass the ads business, you know, over the next few years. It's a massive investment for Google. And if you think about the magnitude of our ads business versus where we are at cloud, it's just an amazing opportunity for all of you to kind of get on that rocket ship that I had a picture of earlier. And really, it's still early days. We've got a lot of work to do, and hopefully you can become part of that. I think it's an amazing opportunity to be in on the early days. And, you know, we recognize we're not first in the market yet, but we have a long and storied heritage of coming from behind and really becoming a market leader. And I think you're going to see that here. At least that's what I believe. So with that, I want to thank you again for sticking with me. We've got about 10 minutes before the top of the hour to handle questions and answers. Amy, I can't believe you didn't interrupt me. I thought for sure there'd be a question somewhere along the way. I got on a roll there. Hopefully it was good information for everyone, and I'll take questions now.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mark. And I have to say that I wasn't interrupting you because I was having a little chat party over here myself. So would love to go through. I was able to kind of answer some of these questions on the fly, but let's definitely go through some of these so everyone can hear the answer. First and foremost, I just want to remind everybody, if you registered for today's session, you will be getting a follow-up email that includes a link to the recording and presentation, which, by the way, the recording and presentation can always be found on Cloud Connect, usually like 4 business days after we've actually done the presentation. And then you'll also get a bunch of the links that we've talked about in the presentation today, like to register for Partner Summit or awards. So anyway, just keep your eyes peeled on that. Don't worry. Don't frantically write everything down. This is all going to be available to you guys. So Mark, going from the top, and I will warn you, we've got a bunch of questions, so we'll do our best.
Okay, we'll do our best. Let's
rapid fire.
All right.
We're getting a lot of questions about MDF. Can you remind everyone the ways in which they're able and eligible to earn MDF?
Sure. There's two paths. So today we have for tech partners what we call Deal Referral. So if you go through now, in order to access Deal Referral, you have to have access, and this today is only eligible for partners and premier level companies. You would access the partner portal. You need to agree to, there are some specific terms to access the tool that we use to administer MDF, which is called the Partner Sales Tool. Once you agree to that, and it's just a click wrap agreement, and it's really straightforward, so I don't think it would cause anybody any issue. You agree to that, and then you have access to register a deal. What that means is you basically provide us with the opportunity information. That goes through an internal, once you submit that, it goes through an internal process. And then if that deal closes, you're eligible to earn MDF on that. So that's one avenue to do it. We call it Deal Referral for partners, right? And the funds are used for marketing benefit. There is also an opportunity, if you are a managed partner, to work with your partner and build out a joint business plan. And in that joint business plan, you can stipulate marketing activities, which will be eligible for MDF. That's handled for managed partners with the partner manager they're working with. And if you don't know if you are or are not a managed partner, typically you probably know our partner managers roughly manage about 50 partners in their portfolio. They're organized by domain. You know, we can take that offline if you like, so we can give you a little bit more details on how that works. But essentially, the partners that are most engaged with us do, which some of you may or may not be on this call, have an opportunity to then access MDF for jointly approved business planning. The last one is around the SaaS initiative, and I may be missing one, but the other one that comes to mind is around the SaaS initiative. And in the SaaS initiative, the way that MDF is calculated, as I mentioned, is based on a growth number. So we take a baseline of the SaaS revenue that you are that we're tracking for a given partner, and say it's $100, just in simple terms. And then we look at over the quarter, what did that consumption grow to? So if it grew to $200, we would carve out then a percentage of the $100 in growth and set that aside for a pool of MDF funds that partner could then apply towards activities that we agree are things that we want to go do together. Those are the ones that are I'm off the top of my head that are available to you. I can do a little bit more digging to see if there's any other opportunities. Sometimes within some of the initiatives that we have, there may be additional MDF that's made available for specific initiative involvement as well.
Thanks, Mark. And by the way, we are getting a ton of questions about the SaaS initiative. Folks, I just put the link to our whole page around the SaaS initiative and Cloud Connect in the chat. I'll make sure to include it in the follow-up email as well. But if you're interested in the SaaS initiative, please go to that page on Cloud Connect. That is your one-stop shop. If you're interested, please apply to the program and someone will reach out to you. So that's going to be your best spot to go there. Someone asked do you need a specialization to be a tech partner? The answer is no. But to Mark's point earlier, obviously, if you have a specialization, it does get you some additional exposure within the Google Cloud org. So definitely something that you guys should be looking at once those specializations roll out for tech partners. But no, they are not a requirement. Similarly, Mark, on that same note, someone had asked about, you mentioned a specific list of partners there where it's like when you log, and I'm blanking on where you mentioned this, but there is a list of partners that kind of show up first.
Yes.
When folks are looking for partners. Can you remind everyone where that is?
Yeah. The actual URL is escaping me, but what I was referencing is the Cloud Partner Directory. So the partner directory, I want to say it's Cloud. Oh gosh. I will find.
I was gonna say I thought it was the directory, but I didn't want to. Lie.
Yeah.
So I have that link. I'm happy to send that out as well.
Yeah, and just to clarify that, so there's really kind of the biggest benefits of getting specialized is that you really distinguish yourself from the other partners that are out there, right? And it really is driven around the customer success you've had. And that's the biggest one, right? Amongst with technical certs and other things, but the big one is around your customer success, so that customers have a fairly strong sense of that you're a reputable firm to do business with and you have demonstrable success in the market. But what we give you in exchange for meeting those additional requirements is really a way to distinguish yourself on our partner directory, which is our public facing site. So if anyone goes to the site and they search, specialized partners will be surfaced first and have unique badging that's associated with their specialization. As I mentioned, like data analytics or machine learning or enterprise collaboration or any of those, right? You'll have that, but also internally, when our sales team is looking for partners, they can also search on the who is specialized in a given area. So it does give you more visibility both internally, but the partner directory externally for any customers or prospects is really a huge benefit, right? Because it does help you distinguish yourself.
Cool. By the way, guys, we only have 3 minutes left and a ton of questions. So Mark and I are going to try to go as rapid fire as possible. If we do not get to your question, I'll put this email link in the chat, but you can email Google Cloud Tech Partners at google.com and we will follow up with you after. That's the same alias that sends you the invite to these, so you should absolutely have it. Mark, as quickly as we can, NRE, people are asking all kinds of questions about NRE. Where can they find more information?
Good question. We are going to have to, I'm going to punt on that one. The reason I say that is it's administered by, I know who leads that team that administers the program. They do have a contract, which, as I mentioned, is negotiated for each of those engagements as they fund a particular engineering engagement. But I'm not sure how they're directing or fielding the queue of requests that are coming in. So I don't want to give misinformation. So I'm gonna say, hold on that, but we'll include it in comms that come out afterwards of how to engage the team that's administering the program.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Mark.
Yeah.
We also have folks asking, again, SaaS initiative, where to find out more information about Marketplace. Guys, the Cloud Connect partner portal is definitely your spot. I will continue to send out those links as part of our follow-up, but definitely if you haven't poked around in there for a while, that's an awesome place to go. We have someone asking us about, can you provide the details on the partner program changes in advance of Next? Good news. That's what we just did. So, again, you guys will have reference to this presentation. If you go on Cloud Connect, there's also a whole section just around Partner Advantage, which is that new program. Yep. So again, feel free to go in there, click around, but it's everything that Mark already talked to you guys about today.
Yeah.
So that's all. You're ahead of the game.
You are.
So
You are.
And then do have a question about concierge service. When available, where will that phone support be posted?
That will be posted also on the partner portal. So on Cloud Connect, it will be there prominently displayed. It should be on the homepage for how to connect with the concierge team.
Perfect. Sorry, just trying to rapid fire type things in.
That's okay. And the email concierge service, which is up and running now, should already be posted on Cloud Connect. I think it's on the homepage. I'd have to confirm that, Amy.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Yeah. And again, oops, I just had a typo. Let me go. Google Cloud Tech Partners at google.com. So if we did not get to your question today, since we're right on top of time, again, that email alias, Google Cloud Tech Partners at google.com. If anyone's ever emailed it before, you know that they answer you very, very, very quickly. So the people that man that are working normal business hours, Pacific Coast time, but usually really on top of it and always happy to answer your questions and point you in the right direction. Again, Mark, thank you so much for presenting today. It means a ton. Really appreciate everyone for joining us. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend ahead, and any questions at all, you know where to find us. Thanks, and we'll see you next month.
Thanks, Amy. Take care, everyone.